Brandon? Lawyer man, you really are the lowest of the low. You've gone and said something I can't forgive. You called my belief into question, my faith in the Holy Mother. And nobody gets away with that. Is this battle scene about to happen? Who's your active Pokemon? What are we doing?
Oh shit, transformation!
Well, what on earth? That music! It's making my ears bleed! This is the music of my soul! Death to the lawyer! The Twilight Messenger, can't you tell? Gonna take this lying lawyer straight to hell. He's dripping with lies, running with Philistines. I'm gonna send that lawyer to the guillotines.
And now for something completely different.
That plinkety-plunk music just wouldn't let me express my rage.
Your rage, huh? Isn't the real source of your anger having your lie exposed?
You just don't get it. If I lied, it's 'cause you drove me to it. All sniffing around and suspicious and throwing out false accusations.
Sorry, but as a lawyer, I'm afraid that's my job.
Yeah, well, lawyers are crap. Keep making noise and I'll have to use my partner here on you.
I'm the one making noise.
Hey, so you want to know the truth, huh? Think you can handle the truth, do ya? Fine, let's see you try. Feel the heat of my brutal death beat! Savage, right? Sweet, sweating bullets, ain't ya? The screams of my soul are gonna make a mosh pit out of this peanut gallery.
Did he really just win the court over with that performance?
Yo, geezer, I got something to testify. Get ready for the howling of my soul. I call this chart topper Soul Screaming Truth. The priestess's dance had come to an end. To the music store room, my way I did wind. Death truth is what you dread. Hear me shred. From my spot in the storeroom, or front of the storeroom, I saw Alvin creep to the treasure room. And trailing from behind, hound of the scent, I saw Paul. I saw patrol after Albie he went. Me and my girl here, innocent and sweet, back by the storeroom, can't be beat. Then I went the power ticket to midnight, blacker than blackest black, robbing all sight. Yeah, baby, let that soul metal flow. What is that music? I've never heard anything like it. And it's so fast. It's really, it takes so long to say the lyrics. It's making my head spin. Really, it's like I'm typing it with 2 fingers. This is Dormelon Metal! Hey, yo, geezer, how are those ears ringing?
I don't know much about music, but I've got chills, and they're multiplying.
Hey, you scared, lawyer man? Run away, fast as you can.
What a wonderful rhythm! The perfect accompaniment for further deliberations. Now, Mr. Understanding, what did you go to the music storeroom for?
Hey, I went to put my Damalon away. She's my precious partner. Gotta give her a good rest after playing in the Wright.
But then why did you lie before?
Because you'd send me to hell. What?
Huh?
We know all about lawyers and their lying, lawyerly ways. Am I right, people? If I admitted I went to the storeroom, he'd have drummed up a false charge on me. I didn't want to get sent to hell. What do you say?
He's right! That's so what would have happened!
Now I see why that Defense Culpability Act was passed. You feel me, Khura'in?
Yeah! You said it!
Is it too much to ask for a low-key trial?
Now are you punks ready to rock or what?
Yeah!
I can't hear you. I said you ready to teach this lying lawyer how we do things round here?
Yeah!
All right, then I'm gonna lay it on you one more time. The screaming truth of my soul.
Okay. And now's the part where you get to rest your voice for a bit.
Okay. What was in the song?
Yeah. The priestess's dance had come to an end. To the music storeroom, my way I did wend. I don't know what that word is.
Probably like I went that way. Like,
I assume. Death, truth is what you dread. Hear me shred.
I think object.
Object to that one. From my spot in front of the storeroom, I saw Albie creep to the treasure room. And trailing from behind, hound on the scent, I saw patrol. After Albie he did went. I keep wanting to say fat roll. Me and my girl here,
Equip load.
innocent and sweet. Back to the storeroom, can't be fleet. And out went the power. Ticket to midnight. Black in the black is black. Robbing all sight. So there's a couple things I... Oh, great. There we go. So that's one thing. He's got a different guitar than he did before. Or whatever you call that. Gamelan. What were you saying?
I don't remember.
Sorry.
Oh, right. Is it... So is his testimony still assuming that the murder took place in the treasure room? Even though we potentially at least moved it to the spot where he found... Where the other spot?
His testimony, I think, is still assuming it's on the steps, but right now he's only testifying about seeing... witnessing Albie going up into the treasure room. Which, that's fucking weird.
Right, I mean, if Albie went to the treasure room, then Pat Roll went to the treasure room, then he went back upstairs so that he could turn around and go back to the breaker.
Right.
Because he would have gone back to the breaker when the power went out. Because if he's already standing in front of the breaker when the power went out, then he'd have been right where the killer was. And surely he's obviously this man wasn't the killer because he's too awesome.
Hold it!
Let's see. Oh, How did Albie appear at the time?
Come to think of it, he was glancing around all shifty-like. You could tell he was up to no good. Shady, I tell you.
What's that saying about people who live in glass houses?
It's just really thin wood, man.
Well, he was about to steal the treasure, so it only stands to reason he looked furtive.
The defense admitted he was sneaking in to see the treasure. The defendant admitted he was sneaking in to see the treasure room box. Wouldn't that be why he was looking around?
What's that, people? Only the Holy Mother knows the truth, you say? Wrong. Peas Lubbin knows the score, baby. From my lips to our Holy Mother's ear, an artist only sings what he saw there.
In other words, my reasoning isn't good enough for Godboy here. What were you saying?
Just that he rhymed ear with there.
Oh.
Or maybe that wasn't supposed to be a rhyme.
And what did you see next, Misunderstand?
Okay. Something tells me this is going to be a spectacular waste of time, but... What do you mean by hound on the scent?
What? You don't get it? It's always the same, y'all. Lyrics questioned without mercy. The more famous the song, the greater the controversy.
It wasn't your lyrical sense I was questioning.
I say hound on the scent like a hunting dog, 'cause you know, Roll was a guard and...
Uh-oh, here we go.
The inspiration came to me suddenly, like a flash, and...
That's okay. You don't have to explain your lyrics anymore.
Hey, you're the one who asked!
I knew I shouldn't have asked.
Mr. Understanding, you're still on the stand, so please stick to your testimony. You can explain your lyrics to me later in Darmalon class. Fine, you have it your way, geezer. The show must go on, slash and thrash.
Even this judge puts up with so much bullshit. What exactly were you doing in the music storeroom?
There, get the picture.
Picture? What picture?
Mr. Understanding is requesting that you not ask him the same thing over and over. Hey, geezer, you got it in one. Take a bow, baby.
How the heck did he understand?
What was I doing in the music storeroom, you ask? I already told you. I was taking care of my partner in crime here.
Getting ready to put her away, sorry.
But see, would you believe it?
Okay. So I think we need to present this.
Objection!
Uh-oh. Guess not. The witness's testimony clearly contradicts this piece of evidence.
You're laying your life on the line. On that? And what exactly about the testimony is inconsistent with that?
Suddenly I'm not so sure. I apologize, Your Majesty. May I try again?
By all means. But know this. You just drove a nail into your own coffin.
Okay, so that's not the right thing. Where were you when the power outage occurred?
Like I said, I was in the music store room. My girl had been sounding a little off, so I had to get her back in tune.
Isn't it true that you were actually in the hallway at that time?
The hallway, you say? Why would I be in the hallway?
You were waiting for Mr. Roll to come back from his patrol of the treasure room. Now that he'd discovered that the treasure had been stolen, you were going to kill him!
Lawyer man just as always. So full of bull. Spewing noxious lies and pulling the wool. Filthy liar through and through, ain't I never ever gonna forgive you.
Utter lies with no evidence! As always, his claims are just tenuous!
Hey, nice, prosecutor. I'm picking up what you're throwing down.
Someone stop their jam session, please. I only understand about half of what this guy is saying. I suppose I should press his statements, but I'm not really looking forward to it. See, is there any that I hadn't pressed? I didn't press that one. I don't think I pressed the first one.
Hold it!
You say you went to the music store room? But how do we know you didn't go to the treasure room to steal the treasure instead?
And on what grounds would you base that accusation? Got anything to show for it?
He's right, I don't really have any proof, and yet... Well, you can't prove that you didn't go to the treasure room either. You stole the treasure and were ready to make your getaway when you saw Mr. Roll. So you panicked and ran into the music store room, isn't that right? Why do I feel like I'm being stabbed by icy stares from every direction?
This silence is your answer, lawyer man. This audience knows the score. Just what we needed. A moment of silence to bid this lawyer's baseless claims goodbye.
Why do they have to hate lawyers so much in this damn fucking country?
I said it before and I'll say it again, lawyer man. After the priestess's dance, I went to the music store room. You've made your assertions clear, defense, but your argument is rather unsubstantiated.
That's no good. What's so funny, peas lubbin' understanding? Nevertheless, the possibility is still there. You can't deny the witness could have killed the victim under the cover of darkness.
You're forgetting one very important thing.
Huh?
It seems you've forgotten that the outage happened by chance, not design.
Okay.
Oh, way to set us up so we can knock you fucking down.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, that's right. I did forget about that, because it was so obvious.
That is definitely the case.
It's not like the witness planned the outage so that he could take advantage of the darkness. And without darkness, it would have been hard to sneak up behind Mr. Roll and kill him.
You're right. Even I would notice someone coming up behind me. Well, defense, what do you have to say about that?
What can I say about that?
Mr. Wright, your claim is completely without merit. Unless you want to argue that the witness somehow magically made the outage happen with some kind of breaker box.
No, that's not it.
Well, maybe not magically, but... Wait, that's it! I contend the witness could have made the power outage happen, with no magic necessary.
What?
You have a theory, defense?
All he had to do was make use of something shown in this diagram.
All the things in this... There's like 5 choices. Which one do you think it is? I give you a 20% chance of getting it right.
Oh shit, I only have 4 things, so
Ooh.
Oh.
So I guess that means I should give you a 20% chance of getting it wrong.
The witness was in the storeroom. The circuit box is on the storeroom end of the hallway. There's nothing really magical about turning off the breaker, wouldn't you say?
Gnurk.
Connect!
Nice try, but that theory doesn't hold water, lawyer man.
And why not?
You're saying I turned the breaker off and then snuck up on Mr. Roll and hit him. In pitch black darkness, with no source of light whatsoever. That what you're saying? Nothing but the soft green luminescence of the murder weapon! With the lights off, that hallway is blacker than 100 midnights. You can't see the hand in your front of your face. How could anybody commit murder like that?
Well, we see on the diagram that there are 2 windows, but I guess they were shuttered.
Unless it was somebody standing right in front of the victim, like the accused.
I hate when he's right,
He's definitely right. There's no way he's not right.
but I can't just let his point stand. Well, maybe the victim was holding something that served as a guide.
A guide through the darkness?
Something? That's more than a little vague, wouldn't you agree?
You ain't gonna move this room with a half-baked hunch like that, bro. You gotta hit him hard. Really make him feel it, you hear me? Just like my verse, baby. Woo!
Well, I'm afraid I don't understand the witness's lyrics very well either. But in a trial, your arguments have to be clear and precise. Let's see some of that clarity and precision now, defense.
Uh-oh, what do I do?
Can you present to us something that could have served as a guide through the darkness?
Yeah. Yes, I can. Because there has to be something.
All right, let's see what you have, defense. What could the victim have been holding that served as a guide through the darkness?
Boom. I believe the victim was holding the treasure box!
Huh?
Huh?
Have you gone mad?
Well, the box glows in the dark, so you could use it as a sort of beacon.
Well, I guess you're right.
But why in the world would the victim be holding the treasure box?
Oh, well, because... Your guess is as good as mine. What's this lawyer talking about?
Nonsense and lies yet again.
Just give him the death penalty already!
Is there no way to win them over?
Defense. Are we going to be needing those tongue shears after all?
No, your majesty.
Yeah, man, do it. Then we can jam out to this lawyer's shrieks of pain.
Totally not something a murderer would say.
Ha ha ha! Better get those screams of agonies out now, lawyer man. Will you still have a tongue to scream with?
I guess I'd better come up with a reason. No pressure or anything. As to why the victim was holding the treasure box, it can be easily explained as thus. Brain, don't fail me now. What reason could the victim possibly have had to be holding the treasure box? The victim was holding the treasure box because he was the thief.
That's... well, you've got 4 more strikes, so...
Sorry, I should have answered something sillier.
That's pretty silly. I don't know. I guess Devout Believer is also very silly. Oh, hello, Defense. Are you still with us?
Hello, Judge.
Let's hear this easy explanation you promised.
Isn't it possible that it was because the victim himself was the thief?
The victim?
The thief?
What kind of bull are you spewing now? Your Majesty, this guy's off his rocker.
If the victim was the thief, everything we've learned so far would all make sense, and it would give us a completely new way to interpret the victim's actions. After this morning dance of devotion, Mr. Roll went to the treasure room. He grabbed the box that contained the treasure and started to take off with it. But then he ran into Albie on the Great Stairs. That's why Mr. Roll pulled his gun on Albie. Then, when the blackout occurred, Mr. Roll was bludgeoned to death in the darkness. This explains why the victim would be holding the glowing treasure box in the dark, and how it would have been possible for someone other than the accused to kill it.
Do you have any idea what you're saying?
You're unbelievable, lawyer man. I think you've lost it. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Roll trying to roll the temple? That devout believer, that pious Khura'inist.
I won't allow you to disparage the victim's departed soul with unfounded allegations. I hope you're prepared to back up your claim.
Of course, Your Majesty.
Oh, really? In that case, can we assume you have proof?
Uh-oh. Proof, huh? Do I have any proof? I can't back down now. Yes, I have proof, in my dreams. The proof that Mr. Roll was the thief may have been left behind on a certain piece of evidence.
Very well. Let's see your evidence and be ready to stand behind it.
Footprints, fingerprints, I'll take anything at this point. I need proof. Something that would have been involved with a theft. And that might still have some trace evidence left on it. That's you.
What proof do you have that the victim might have been the thief?
Look at that a little closer.
It's this photograph's small. You can't look at it in 4K. Oh.
Let's see. There's blood on his head, the hand, and the box, which might indicate that he was holding the box when he was hit. The defense would like to examine this piece of evidence.
Would you now? I don't think that piece of evidence will give us any answers.
Whoops, look like I got it wrong.
Perhaps you would like to examine this penalty instead. The
Ah!
shears! I guess I'll save the shears for a little longer.
Okay, don't overthink this thing. It's gotta be something that might still hold some trace of it being touched. And if the victim was the thief, what's something he would have touched? Oh. I was a step ahead. Damn it. The defense would like to examine the treasure box. There might be trace evidence on it that would show the victim had held it.
Might? You'd better hope you turn up something more definitive than that, defense.
Yes, sir, your majesty.
Very well. Bailiff, bring the treasure box. There you are, defense. You're free to examine it.
If I don't find something now, my entire argument up to this point will be blown. Plus, there's that little matter of the old tongue shears. I have to find something, I just have to. Now, to make sure I remember how to do this, handle an object, I can rotate the evidence by sliding the touchscreen. I can zoom in and out with the slider on the left, too, just to get a better look. And if I ever get too turned around, I can always touch reset to return things to this initial state. I'd better search every inch of this box carefully, and touch anything of interest to check it out in detail.
Ooh, touch the blood. Rub your hands in the blood. Blood.
The lid of the box was forced open. But while the victim was holding the box, the lid must have been closed. I'll try closing the lid too.
Hey,
What?
you son of a... You locked it!
So? What's the big deal? I thought you can open it with that key you're wearing.
Yeah, Ken, no sweat.
Then why is there a bucket load dripping off of you over there? I think I'd like to open this box back up again. Could you lend me your Magatama key?
Sure.
Okay, let's see. Where's the keyhole?
Well, it's the Magatama key. So wouldn't it go in the hole above the Magatama mark?
Huh? It won't open.
Would you look at that?
The thief must have busted the lock when they forced the box open.
Really? Because I'm not so sure about that. In any case, I better take another good look. I have to find proof that the victim was holding this box. This bloodstain. It shows the outline of a hand. Could this be what I've been looking for? All this time? Your Majesty, take a look at this. There's a bloodstain here that outlines the shape of a hand.
Really? Let me see that. Oh my, you're right.
Now I'm getting somewhere. I believe the blood stain is the outline of the victim's hand as he was holding the box.
What?
Even as he was being struck, he held on tightly to the precious treasure box. After all, he'd gone through a lot of trouble to steal it. The blood from his head wound splattered across his hand and onto the box.
Your Majesty, don't let yourself be taken in. He's just using more of his loyally deceit.
What do you mean?
Mr. Wright, where is your proof that the outline is that of the victim's hand?
I should have seen this coming.
Either show proof or prepare to meet the shears. Or you could save us all some time and bite your tongue out now and submit it instead.
I did not see that coming.
Well, defense, how about it? Do you have proof that the outline is of the victim's hand?
Where would the proof of something like that even be? Now I get to present that picture.
Please submit your evidence at this time. What evidence shows that the outline on the treasure box is of the victim's hand?
This is the evidence gonna save my beloved tongue. Mr. Payne, despite your claims about my forked tongue, it just so happens I have the proof you require.
You do?
It's right here in this crime photo.
It is where? Defense, please point it out.
What proves the blood stain on the box is that of the victim's hand, you ask? Why, the victim's hand!
Preposterous.
Mr. Payne, take a good look at the victim's hand. See this? That's blood.
Hope it's not Chris's blood.
What?
If we place Mr. Roll's hand inside the bloody outline...
You think the blood on his hand would complete the splatter?
Exactly. Here goes nothing. If they do form one complete splatter, it would prove my theory correct.
Then the victim really was holding the box.
I'm willing to bet my life on it. The defense reasserts that the victim was the thief who stole the treasure box.
You can't be serious! I protest. There's no way they could ever match up. I assert that it's patently impossible for... Ow!
Talk about tongue karma. Sounds like he just bit his. What's the matter, Mr. Payne? Did your forked tongue get tangled up in there? Or were you trying to submit your own tongue to the court?
Why, you...
Count Peace-Levin's hand is eternally outstretched.
I suppose he was last in when he spoke.
I can hardly believe it. Apparently, not everything out of the defense's mouth is a bluff.
Of course not, your majesty, just most things. This tongue doesn't lie. And I'd like to continue to use my tongue in the future too, if you wouldn't mind. He never has to know it really was a bluff.
No, not Mr. Roll. I can't believe it.
I'm sorry, Albie. I know it's upsetting news. He must have needed the money badly, probably to support his family. After all, he even gave up his dream of becoming a monk to help him.
Oh, so that thing Mr. Roll would say to me. Albie, you train hard and make sure you become a monk one day. Don't end up like me, he'd say.
Yeah. He was probably warning you not to end up a thief.
Mr. Roll.
Now wait just a minute! If the victim was a thief, he was holding the treasure box! That means Mr. Roll was holding the murder weapon when he was killed!
Oh, that's a very good point. It doesn't make much sense, does it?
If the victim was holding the treasure box, it couldn't have been the murder weapon. Which means the real murder weapon must have been something else.
The real murder weapon?
Was something else?
The blood was thought to have gotten in the box when the box was used as a weapon. But it turns out that wasn't the case. Blood splattered onto the treasure box the victim was holding when he was struck with the real weapon. That's what really happened. Isn't that right, Mr. Understanding?
No. Are you insinuating I'm the one who used this real weapon?
Are you saying I'm wrong in my understanding, motherfucker?
You got me riled up, lawyer man. I feel a song coming on. Looking for a weapon that just don't exist. Pathetic lawyer man, drop into the abyss. Despicable lawyer man, you make me sick. You can disappear just like a magic trick. Worthless lawyer man done in by a weapon. For you miserable wretch, hell doth beckon. Yeah.
I know I don't need to remind you, defense, that your life is on the line.
I know, Your Majesty.
That you're prepared to risk it on this mere idea of a real murder weapon, finger quotes.
Death to the lawyer!
You really ought to say that twice. That's the sort of thing you would say twice in quick succession.
Yeah. This is it, the moment of truth. I can't back down, not now. Yes, Your Majesty, I am. I'm confident that the real murder weapon does indeed exist.
That's a bold claim, Mr. Wright. Now let's see you back it up. Show us which piece of evidence points to this real murder weapon.
Gladly.
Ooh, I know.
You know?
I know.
What is it?
It's the Damalon. The
Yeah.
other Damalon.
Yes!
Now then, defense, please submit your evidence to the court.
Yeah, let's see it, lawyer man. Let's see this thing that shows the real murder weapon you say I used.
What I'm about to present is really nothing more than a possibility, but this thin thread is all I've got. Allow me to direct the court's attention to this photo of the morning dance of devotion.
That photo. How is that going to help you, Mr. Wright?
The victim was bludgeoned to death with this photo.
There's something about it that doesn't sit right with me.
Oh yeah? And what's this something, huh?
This thing here is odd, to say the least. Mr. Understanding, why is the instrument you're holding different from the one you're playing in the photo?
Would you look at that? They're completely different shapes.
I believe you said your Damelin was your one and only?
Well, Mr. Understanding, what do you have to say to that?
I got nothing to say.
Then allow me to answer for you. They're different because one in the photo is no longer in playable condition. El Kabong!
Not after you used it to bludgeon Mr. Roll to death.
My old partner wasn't doing so hot, so I brought her sister along, that's all. Not a big deal, lawyer man.
In that case, please submit your old Milan to the court as evidence.
Too bad you're too late. I got rid of her yesterday.
You what?
At the time of murder. I mean, at a pawn shop. Burned her up with the rest of the trash. Ashes to ashes, baby. Ha ha.
No! He's already destroyed the evidence?
And I see more trash right here in this court that needs to burn in the fires of hell. Lawyer trash.
Ugh. Now there's no proof to show.
Oh, come on, that was pathetic. Your agony can sound better than that. Where's that great scream of yours?
This can't be how it ends. I mean, we can all agree that that's super fucking suspicious, right?
I think I've heard enough. It seems the defense is unable to produce the evidence it needs to prove its assertion.
Oh, but your Majesty, that's only because the witness destroyed it.
Evidence is everything in court. Don't tell me you've forgotten this most fundamental principle of our profession.
Without sufficient proof, your claim that Mr. Understanding is the murderer is no more than conjecture.
Ugh!
That's the pained expression I've been looking for. By the way, there seems to be one more thing you're forgetting.
Oh, great. What is it now?
You accused Mr. Understanding of being the thief, but the real thief turned out to be the victim.
Uh-oh.
And with that, Mr. Understanding's purported motive for murder goes out the window.
Ah!
Great point, prosecutor. You tell him. If I had been there, I would have just call and roll and gotten the treasure back. There wasn't any reason for me to kill him now. Was there?
There's no good counter argument to that.
It sounds to me like Mr. Understanding has been completely wrongfully accused. Unfortunate as it may be, I think it's time to hand down the verdict in this case.
Not good, not good.
Defense, I trust you understand what you yourself will receive for taking on this case. Death to the non-believer. Death to the litigator.
Ugh, what do I do? The murder weapon's been destroyed, and now I've got no motive. Poor Albie will be convicted and I'll lose my life too.
But Albie no longer has a murder weapon or motive either.
Mr. Wright, you've wasted this court's time and disparaged everything we hold sacred. We should charge you with less majesty in addition to the crime of abetting the accused.
Still refuse to Google that word. Yeah, you should pay for desecrating my good name. Bye-bye, lawyer man. Time for you to do some repenting in the shadow realm.
Oh shit. This guy is guilty as sin. I just know it. He must have had some reason to kill Mr. Roll, but what? Probably because Mr. Roll was stealing the shit he was trying to steal.
Come on, people, let me hear you scream and shout. Time to take this lawyer trash out.
Exterminate, annihilate. Another. The thing to do at a time like this is to turn my thinking around. It shouldn't be trying to figure out what Understanding's motive was,
I should be thinking about what kind of situation would give him a motive.
Did you steal it? He said.
We know that Mr. Roll was the thief and that he had gotten his hands on the box. So then why? Why in the world did he ask Albie that question? What about the treasure box would have prompted him to? Ah! Revelation!
What's gotten into you?
Now I get it! Now it all makes sense!
Like Pokunka, man, what you trying to say? Muttering and squealing to yourself sounds like you knocked something loose upstairs.
Your Majesty, please hold off on your ruling for just a while longer.
Don't tell me you're going to start begging for your life now.
No, Your Majesty, that's not it. It's just that I realized something important. We've been operating under a serious misconception this whole time.
A misconception, you say?
That's right. A mistaken notion about the treasure box. But could this really be true? If so, there's still a lot to figure out.
Very well. Let's hear what you have to say.
Thank you, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty, this is just more of his nonsense. He's just stalling for time.
This is your last chance, Defense. The second I find it really is nothing but nonsense, no amount of begging will stay my hand. Understand?
Yes, Your Majesty.
We all know this is just going to be another one of your stupid bluffs.
Now then, Defense, what is this misconception you mentioned?
The thing we didn't realize about the treasure box was... it was empty. What if the treasure box was already empty from the start?
What?
What?
Please recall that when Mr. Roll ran into Albie on the Great Stairs, he asked the boy a question.
Did you steal it? He asked me.
Also recall that Mr. Roll was holding the treasure box at the time, so why then did he ask Albie the question that he did?
That is a bit peculiar, isn't it?
Not at all, Your Majesty. Not once you realize that, by the time Mr. Roll got to the treasure room, the treasure box was already empty.
I beg your pardon.
Mr. Roll suspected that Albie had gotten to it first, which is why he confronted Albie when he ran into the boy on the stairs.
But how would the victim have known the treasure box was empty? He didn't have any way of opening it.
Once a year, the victim had the duty of carrying the treasure box to the palace.
He was so proud when he was put in charge of guarding the treasure box. He even got to carry the box to the palace for the New Year's rite.
He would have been able to tell by the weight when he lifted it that the box was empty.
I see, yes. I suppose he would have been able to tell, wouldn't he?
Mr. Roll most likely decided to at least steal the empty treasure box. It's an important historical artifact in and of itself, after all.
Yeah, but what's your point, Mr. Wright? What does any of this have to do with Mr. Understanding?
My point is this. It gave Mr. Understanding a motive to murder the victim.
A motive?
Mr. Understanding, keeping the treasure safe is one of your duties, isn't it? So if anyone had found out that the treasure was missing, you would have been accused of incompetence. From the moment Mr. Roll discovered that the treasure was gone, his fate was sealed, because you decided then that he had to be silenced forever.
But that's absurd!
Can you believe the stuff that comes out of this guy's mouth? This is all just a colossal joke.
So then, what really happened to the treasure?
It had been stolen long before this incident occurred. By Mr. Peace, Love, and Understanding himself.
Mr. Wright, will you stop at nothing to accuse Mr. Understanding? Your Majesty, please don't listen to these trumped-up charges. The defense is grasping.
The treasure box can only be opened with the key Mr. Understanding holds. Who else could have stolen the treasure?
As I said, the accused stole the treasure by forcing open the box. Your Majesty, I call for a swift ruling.
I'm not ready to give my verdict yet.
Wah!
The defense has successfully presented a new possibility in this case.
Yes, finally, a tiny shred of hope.
Mr. Understanding, would you care to make any statements in response to the defense's claims? I don't know, it's
Just like a growl.
Growl!
Yeah.
This is all bull. My noggin's a rage cage and it's ready to explode, baby!
Instructor Understanding, please calm yourself.
I'm not gonna take it. No, I ain't gonna take it. I dutifully watched over that treasure with pride. And now I'm getting accused of stealing it? This lawyer is a lying scumbag!
If
You better believe I got something to say. Open up your ear holes, sheeple. Let's rock! Death to the lying lawyer! Death to the lying lawyer! Steal the Founder's Orb. Me, I did it. Except with question. This lying lawyer's insults know no limit. All this time I guarded the orb faithfully. Sacred duty to the Holy Mother, easy to see. Hands unclean, the accused did the deed. Forced the box open, no key did he need. Lying lawyer, condemn him to hell. Kick him, throw him into a prison cell.
well,
Or
at least the contradiction's easy.
Either the treasure box was forced open by the accused, as the witness claims,
or Mr. Understanding, he opened it as the defense claims. Defense, this is your last chance to cross-examine the witness.
Yes, Your Majesty.
If you're unable to prove your assertions by the end of this cross-examination,
Then the DC Act will come into play, and both you and the accused will lose your lives.
I understand. Life or death, it all comes down to this.
Mr. Wright.
Don't worry, I'm here to defend you. I promise it'll be all right.
Thank you. I believe in you, Mr. Wright. I know you can win this for us. And after we win, we can go see Miss Maya together.
It's all right. Everything. It's a deal. I can't let Albie down. I have to win this trial. Somehow I have to prove that only Understanding could have stolen the treasure.
Do your worst, lawyer trash. This is your requiem. The last song you'll ever hear on this mortal coil. Really, another song? Jesus Christ.
No.
Okay, good. It's
Yeah.
the same song. Okay.
Yeah. No. You're fine.
Huh.
Trust me, I can feel your pain.
So, I mean, I don't know if it's written in the evidence that I can just... Because he knows the contents of the box and he's not supposed to. But I think I have to press him before I can say that. Because it no longer says that on the... But the argument that the orb was already gone before the murder fits all the facts.
It's no use even talking to you. Where's your proof that I stole the orb? Huh, lawyer trash?
He's right. I don't have any proof. Yet. But I'll find some. Your sacred duty, huh? The problem with that is that I don't think you really are a true believer.
Why, you! How dare you question my faith? It's downright insulting.
I'm not trying to insult you, but I can't suspend logic either. You wormed your way into the temple with the intent of stealing the treasure, didn't you?
I've had all the insults I can take out of you, lawyer trash.
But you're the only one who can open the treasure box.
You just keep on arguing the same old lie. I sing the truth, hear my battle cry!
The defendant didn't force the box open. That's a lie. In fact, you're the one who opened it, isn't that right?
Come on, you just saw for yourself, didn't ya? The lock was busted on account of the box being forced open.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there's your proof right there.
Ugh. Score one for the metalhead.
Look, if the accused really didn't try to force his way into the box, then how do you explain why the lock was busted and wouldn't open for you earlier?
How do I explain why the box wouldn't unlock earlier? Maybe there's a different way to open it. There's a different way to open the box.
Huh? What are you talking about?
There's a secret trick to opening it, to protect its contents from being stolen. And you're the one who knows how it works, isn't that right?
Are you for real? You've been watching too many movies, lawyer man.
Ah! So you're one of those tourists? Honestly, Mr. Wright, did you come expecting magic and mystery around every corner? Magic! How absurd!
Discord, we should have stopped after the divine seance. I'll have you know, Defense, the kingdom of Khura'in is not some sort of fantasy funland.
It's true, I don't have any real grounds to make that assertion. And yet...
Oh yeah, I feel another song coming on. A little number about a crazy lawyer with wild, fantastic ideas. The real method to open the lock, you say? Delusional man, there ain't no other way! Ah, a new verse. Please do add it to your testimony, Mr. Understanding.
Delusional, am I? We'll see about that.
While with ideas. That's called delusion. Mixed up lawyer drowning in confusion.
Indeed, the defense's sinful wrongdoing has made him lose touch with reality.
Let's hear it. What'll it be for this sinner's flight of fancy?
Nothing, because I'm not the delusional one. I just know there's gotta be some trick to opening the treasure box.
Oh, really? And where exactly is this secret hidden?
The secret is obviously hidden in... the box. The treasure box!
Yeah? And where on the box is this secret exactly?
Well, I hadn't thought that far ahead.
Are you sure? You're sounding a little desperate, Defense.
Desperate? No, not at all, your Majesty.
The carvings, the accused snuck in to see, even though it's forbidden, I might add.
Witness, can you tell us anything about these carvings on the box?
Of course, as head monk, I know all about them. The carvings depict a Khura'in's butterfly as it carries a soul to the shadow realm. They were made in around the 7th century.
I see. Could you please add that information to your testimony?
Fine, listen up, lawyer trash. Khura'in's butterfly from the 7th century carries the mitama so elementary. Yeah. Thank you.
Just press after press.
I believe this butterfly design conceals some sort of secret.
Oh yeah? Why don't you check it out for yourself then?
Huh? What's with the smug look on his face? I think I'll do just that, your Majesty, if I could? Nothing unusual here.
Well, Defense, what have you discovered?
I'm afraid I haven't discovered anything, your Majesty. Here, I'll return it now.
I told you, didn't I tell you? Now you're suspicious of the key, are ya?
There's just no reasoning with this man. The accused forced the lock open, there's no other explanation.
That's right. He desecrated the box by opening it without using this mitama key.
Wasn't it the Magatama key?
I'll sing it as many times as I have to get it through your thick lawyer skull. Only the mitama key unlocks the treasure. Force it and reap the founder's displeasure! Yeah!
For the forgetful defense's sake, could you please add that to your testimony?
Oh, so you like this little number better, do you?
Let's see.
Yeah, have him change it.
I believe the witness just made or sang a very important statement. I would like it switched into his testimony.
I don't know. Very well, witness, if you would. I don't understand the... I imagine you have to remove a statement from this testimony to make room for that, because of video game logic.
Yeah, if I have to, carve it into your brain, lawyer man.
Yeah, that's... Present! The Magatama key! Just a minute, Miranda Standen. You just called your key the Mitama key, didn't you?
Ah!
But didn't you originally say it's called the Magatama key?
The Mitama key? What's that?
I don't know, Your Majesty, but apparently, it's a rather crucial question.
Well, what's the big deal? So I said the wrong thing. So simple slip of the tongue.
An A for effort, Mr. Wright. But your grandstanding betrays your desperation. I'm afraid a small slip of the tongue like that adds absolutely nothing to your argument.
What say you, defense? Is it an important detail?
Judging by Understanded's reaction, I'd say it's everything my argument needs. Yes, Your Majesty, it's very important. This key is apparently not the Magatama key, but rather the Mitama key. And I believe this discrepancy holds great significance for the defense.
Nah, man. Just a meaningless mistake. Insignificant. You're riding the crazy train to nowhere, lawyer man.
Your Majesty, please don't pay the defense any heed. It's all nonsense.
To tell the truth, I'm not really clear on what the defense is driving at myself. However, I am eager to find out.
What?
Defense, you will explain yourself like your life literally depends on it.
Because it does.
Now then, is the name of the key an important detail?
Yes, it's an absolutely important detail, I think. Because the Mitama key is connected to the Founder's Orb.
I see, very well. In that case, please show the court the grounds on which you are basing this claim.
The grounds, Your Majesty?
You can, of course, show grounds, can you not, defense?
Of course! What else can I say? I have to come up with something, anything, even if it's just a bluff. The Mitama key... Mitama. There has to be something that ties Mitama and the orbs together.
Don't keep me waiting, defense. What evidence shows a connection between the Mitama key and the Founder's Orb?
When the dragon and tiger battle, the Founder offers divine protection. When the butterfly embraces the Mitama, the favor of the orb is bestowed.
That sounds important, maybe. What's that? A song of ceremony?
All this time, the answer was right there in front of me. It's right there in the Song of Ceremony, performed during the Dance of Devotion. Your Majesty, the Song of Ceremony tells of the treasure of the founder of Khura'inism. But hidden within its lyrics is the secret behind how to really open the treasure box.
Oh.
Holy!
Mother! But how could that be, defense?
The Song of Ceremony contains the following lyrics. When the butterfly embraces the Mitama, the favor of the orb is bestowed. I believe the Mitama here refers to the Mitama key.
Well, yes, it is the same word, but that doesn't mean...
We've been calling this key the Magatama key, and that's why I inserted the key into the lock with the Magatama design on it. But that was obviously not the right way to use it.
And I suppose you know the right way?
I do, Your Majesty. To use the key property, you first...
Can we look at the box again?
Flip it vertically.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, see the design on the... behind the butterfly. If we turn the Magatama shape upside down like this... it becomes the Khura'in symbol of the soul. In other words, a Midama.
Oh my, you're absolutely right. But now what? What do you do with it? It's too big to fit into the lock that way.
Oh,
I knew he was just bluffing. Bluffs and lies are only tools of his trade, after all.
there must be some other place this key fits. But where? I actually had to figure that out to figure out whether we flipped it vertically or horizontally. What were the words of the Song of Ceremony again? When the butterfly embraces the Midama, the favor of the orb is bestowed.
My goodness! The treasure box, it really opened.
No way, man.
What? No!
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the real secret behind the Song of Ceremony. It's the true key to opening the treasure box. It's all over, Mr. Payne.
How so?
Let's say someone was fooled into trying to force the front-facing lock open. Sadly for them, it won't budge. That's because the lock is, after all, just a decoy.
Then, what you're saying is...
Neither the victim nor the defendant would have been able to open the box, and therefore had no way of stealing the treasure. The only one who could have stolen it is the man who knew about the Midama key. Peace, lovin', understanding!
Ah!
But I'm not done yet. Please recall the scene of the crime. On the floor by Mr. Roll's body was the very unlocked and very open treasure box. Only someone who knew how to open the box could have left it in that state. And so, there can only be one true culprit. Admit it, Mr. Understanding, you're the one who killed Mr. Roll!
Ah!
Cuckoo, cuckoo.
Curse him. It's all his fault. Why'd he have to try and steal the treasure? Why'd I have to spot him with that box? On my way to the storeroom after the morning dance. It's his fault I had to cause that blackout and clock him good. I couldn't let my secret get out. Nobody could know the treasure box was empty. I'd lose my position as head monk. Who knows what else they'd do to me. I couldn't let... I had to stop him.
What a shocking development. I can scarcely believe it.
Nothing like this has ever happened since the DC Act was enacted 23 years ago.
Yeah. No! My perfect, unlimited
Did the lawyer really win?
No way! This can't be happening!
Peace! I said peace! Honestly speaking, I'm just as shocked as everyone else. But the truth has been made known, so it is time for me to give my verdict. In the name of the Holy Mother, this court finds the accused, Albi Urgaid, not guilty.
Confetti! Or magic butterflies. See, Japanifornia's way better. We have confetti instead of magic.
The spirits of the dead approve this verdict. This is the first time that's happened in 23 years!
April 24th, 1:36 p.m., High Court of Khura'in. Accused lobby. There's still quite a commotion. People in the gallery show no sign of clearing out.
I can't believe it. Not guilty.
I'm still in shock. Can you believe that guy?
I can feel everybody's eyes on me.
This can't be happening. It's impossible.
Oh, Holy Mother, preserve us.
I've never been in a defendant lobby quite this uncomfortable. I mean, that might have something to do with the automatic weapons.
Mr. Wright!
Oh, Albie!
Thank you so much for what you did for me.
I'm just glad it turned out okay. It was touch and go there for a while.
I'm really sorry, Mr. Wright. I had a really hard time trusting you at first.
That's okay, Albie. I know how unpopular lawyers are in this country. But how did everything get this way in the first place?
Allow me to explain. At least, I wish I could explain. But I don't really know why. I never even questioned it before today. By the time I was born, all the lawyers were already gone. As far back as I can remember, verdicts have been based on her benevolence's insights.
Right. Rafa, the royal priestess.
You would imply that the trials of this country are unfair, to explain, outsider? How verdicts founded on truths imparted by the very souls of the dead lack impartiality?
Well, for one, the dead person isn't impartial. For her part, I'm sure she really believes in what she says, but she's also a cunt. Even with her benevolence's divination seances, lawyers are still necessary. Without proper defense, people could easily wind up receiving wrongful convictions.
Mr. Wright! Shh!
Huh?
Don't say that so loud. People might think you're a rebel. You could be arrested.
A rebel?
That's right. One of those people going against our queen in the court system. They call themselves the Defiant Dragons. And they're led by a scary guy named Dirk. They'll do anything to overthrow Her Eminence, even commit crimes.
Dirk. I remember people in the gallery mentioning that name. He has a cyborg eye.
The things you're saying sound a lot like the stuff they say.
Shit, maybe I should join the rebellion.
But you're not scary like that Dirk guy. I'm not the least bit intimidated by you.
Pardon the intrusion? Ah.
This man.
You want to do him? Let's see. I get a...
You, I want to talk to you, see? Flight, is it?
Right, sir. Phoenix Wright. And you are?
I'm the Khura'inese Minister of Justice. The name's... Inga Kurkul Khura'in. I oversee the whole legal shebang.
I was watching that three-ring circus in there.
You were? Wow, the Minister of Justice. So he's in charge of the entire court system, Defense Culpability Act and all.
Minister Inga, how are you, sir?
Run along, Mini Monk. Grown-ups are talking here.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
Yes, sir. Very sorry, sir.
May I help you with something?
Just wanted a good look at you. Guys like you aren't exactly a dime a dozen around here. Huh, well then.
He's eyeing me like I'm some kind of exotic creature in a cage.
Oh yeah, might as well share this little morsel with you. Turns out Roll was a seasoned thief. A repeat offender, see? Had my men look into it. They found all the booty he'd pilfered right there in his digs.
But he seemed like such a nice man. Why, Mr. Roll, why?
Guess he was doing it for the family. What a mook.
A mook? How can you say that?
Guess that kind of sob story gets you common folk all misty-eyed, huh? Anyway, another thing. I had my men check out this understanding fella, too. He wasn't the one with the sticky fingers, it's the insurgents.
What?
They put the squeeze on our head monk, apparently. So he gave up the Founder's Orb and tried to keep it hush-hush.
Wow, I see. Thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, say, White, that was a cute little number you pulled in my courtroom today, wasn't it? First not guilty ruling in 23 years. You're making waves, see? Stirring the pot, catch my drift.
Oh, well, Yikes, I'm in for now!
But thanks to that song and dance, we know our precious national treasure got nicked. So I'm gonna call it a wash and let it slide this time.
But all I did was defend the accused.
You do best to read between the lines here, chump. You're standing on thin ice, you get my drift? Even a dirty, no-good punk knows to cash his chips before the house steps in. Do us both a favor and keep an eye on the path you're walking down. You never know whose toes you might be stepping on. This ain't your turf, buddy. Never forget whose soil it is you're standing on.
Yikes. He was kind of scary, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, no use worrying about it. I just might get vanished at some point. We have more important things to think about, such as when we continue the sightseeing tour.
Tour? Oh, any time, sir. We still have plenty of time until Miss Maya's training ends. And there's still lots more temples to see and all kinds of local foods to eat. I can show you the natural beauty of the area and the waterfalls used for training, and I haven't shown you the breathtaking mountain view from the plaza, and there's this place where you can dangle the great view of the Shadow Realm. Oh, thank you.
All right. Slow down, Albie. There's plenty of time. You did an admirable job.
And when we're done with all that, we can go see Miss Maya together.
Yeah, you bet. Maya, I wonder how she's doing. I hope she's okay.
So, how about that not guilty, jerk? I heard. Sounds like the winds of change are beginning to stir.
I'm drawing a blank on that voice actor's name, but he's in everything.
Yeah, he is. I don't know who he is either, but...
I mean, his voice is awesome. I can see why he's in everything.
Yeah, no.
We did it. We won the game.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed this Phoenix Wright game.
Yeah, we didn't even have a single investigation segment. And so, wait. And this is the next episode when we come back.
Oh, we can watch it when we come back, right?
Yeah, there's just a preview. I haven't selected the episode.
Behold my might!
That's a pretty open shut case, I'd say.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this, be sure to subscribe. We have a lot more planned to come, including loads of VR content, even more when we get a second headset, and our new series, Next Gen Drinking Games, where we combine alcohol and gaming in inventive ways.